Testing. Welcome, great people. Okay. You wake care. Hey. Welcome, family. Let me share this music with you guys in case y'all want to look it up and have a jam fest. So, the sister is making it happen. Hey, Shadow Band. We can win the battle. We can win the war. And guess what? No weapons held against. Hey. Anyway. Oh, you want a wrench? Okay, hold on. Let me see. That's something I gotta do on the. Okay, let me see. Yeah, I'll have to work on that. I didn't shadow ban you. You know what you can do though. You got control over that. I can't do nothing to you. Don't get it out of your mind. No one has that power. No one has the power. I need to get it out of my mind. She is really doing it. And this is the music I love. I'm definitely gonna have to play this on my playlist. I go jogging. Workout beat. Let me see what else. I like the fast. Nice. That is really great. Well, let's get into the talk because I don't want to be too long on here again today, but I'll be on here for a minute. Let's stop sharing this. Like the video says, mentally free yourself will physically free yourself. That's my saying. And by that, we have to recognize that we hold the key, we hold the powers to everything that we endure on the earth. If we know ourselves, when you know yourself, excuse me, And if you seek to know yourself, to really know who you are, what you are, why you are here, purpose driven life. And we should know that our life is so purposeful because of all the things we've endured. When the more you endure, the more you see, the more it's telling you that you have a purpose in this place. And once you learn who you are and why you're so hated, that is half your battle won already. Because you can move in life knowing which direction you need to go in. And more than likely than anything, it's always going to be self-preservation. Um, what can I contribute to make things better in this place that I am put in? You know, you always want to upward.
Your food is burning a color fire. There's bubbles bubbling under the pot.
Hold on a second. I'm sorry, I got disturbed. Hey, hold on. Hold on a second.
Bubbling under your pot.
Okay, I'm done. I'm so sorry, family. When you know half, like I said, half your battle is won. The mystery is, you know, the mystery continues. So we continue to seek, and we continue to study the world around us, what we're enduring, our experiences. And we should always seek to be better than the conditions we were placed in or born into. I always seek for better, even though where I was was beautiful. Regardless, was beautiful. I had a beautiful family, a huge family. Um, beautiful friends, people, associates, beautiful experience. It wasn't always good, but it wasn't always bad. So, with the knowledge of knowing who we really are, which is important, then comes the betrayal, the manipulation, and the prevention of you growing to be the greatest person you want to be. Because if you knew how great you were, you wouldn't stoop low and deal with the lower self, which is the negative, the death, um, the wicked stuff we deal with day to day, the things you see in the earth, the bad things, the jealousy, the um, the shooting, the killing, the the fear of someone stealing your food or your ability to survive, the control mechanisms to control. I want to say this. I've seen a couple videos on the TikTok uh, with black females. They're in their space because you can make your own space. But people have certain people that we expect to have problems with that, they have problems with that. And with the black girls, follow me back. Or, because we're very, very different people. And everything has been so far in this society, been in this society, has been either their way or the highway. And it's who put them in charge? That's what you got to think to yourself. Nobody. They're here. You have to live with it, but you don't have to deal with it. You don't have to put up with it. None of us have to put up with nonsense. So you might say, so what are we to do? It takes this. And unfortunately, they've been too much in control with this. They've been too much in control with this. It took a 6-year-old kid, and they still don't see. The 6-year-old kid shot his teacher, and people still don't see the issue. Even though I don't know anything about the 6-year-old kid, but it had to been, you reading a book. What kind of book were you reading? What kind of programming are you doing to children? There's no excuse for violence. But sometimes when these things happen, you got to look at yourself and think, why did it happen? Why did it have to happen? Why did it have to happen? It has to happen for one thing. Someone put a comment underneath of the video of the 6-year-old boy shooting his teacher. And they were like, what's this world coming to, all this wickedness and evil? Well, the wickedness and evil has been here for a long time, way before any of us were born. It was here. It built this country. Because I can see other countries, they don't have half the issues we have here in America. So, especially with the kids getting out of control with guns. There's one country, they don't even have no weapons. They don't allow weapons. Police don't carry weapons. They do good. What are you going to do? No one is allowed to have weapons. But, nobody's allowed to do, they're just, they run their country a certain way. And they don't have guns, which is a good thing. But because you have a place that the energy, which I'm going to get into that next video, the horrible energies, is built, it's a hateful energy. The ancestors always said you have to be balanced. Now, I don't blame the people before me for the conditions, because I know and I understand that the condition is not what needs to be changed. It's the mind and the people that need to be changed. It's my people that look like me that need to change and realize that we've been miseducated by people whose minds is the level of chimpanzees. And I'm going to share a video. I'm going to share a video. And let me see. I'm going to share this video. Hold on. Let me get over here and get this thing here. And, it's beyond me how people that look like me and don't know a thing about who they are, what they are, why they are. But look who they follow, look who they listen to. Look at what they listen to. They've been knocked down to a level below this, and they think in their minds, they really feel and think that they're below this. That's what it takes for you to sit like this and talk about your own issues, your own community, with someone outside your community who has no kind of education in psychology or anything like that. But or sociology for all that it matters. But yet, someone who copycats someone else's ways, but our people have to, it really, they have really come to a level. And like they say, don't cast your swine, don't cast your, I should say cast your swine because you got more swine than you have pearls to cast because you gave all the pearls away. And you're casting your pearls to dead nothingness, to things that really aren't going to help the people. She can't tell you about your community. She's a whole different world. She barely can deal with her own community. But yet our people are listening to what she's saying about them. And that's depravity. That's a level of
Anything like now in
depravity.
hindsight, now that like the whole organization has come out as a scam.
Um, what do you mean? Sorry.
The Black Lives Matter
Yeah,
organization.
like they're in hot water right now. You haven't heard?
I didn't hear about
The
that.
the organ is like
Oh.
they found out the leader of the
Yeah,
Black
yeah,
Lives
yeah.
Matter was like keeping the money and not
And
even giving it to the victims.
Paying for like a really expensive.
Yeah, and saying that it was a business cost, her mansion that she lived in and like through parties. Yeah, and like so.
So she's telling them about Black Lives Matter. Does she know? She doesn't even know that Black Lives Matter was never for Black people. She don't know about all the plans, all the schemes to trick Black people, Black people into what's been going on lately. All this mess to follow somebody. Always got to be following somebody. And it's all orchestrated by people that look like her. But she don't even know that. She thinks that it's a organization that we got together and put up. That's as far as she's concerned. That's the level of her depravity of her mind. But people listen to her because her skin is pale like this, and it's supposed to be an indicator. Not, I don't have to hate anybody because of what they look like, but I do have to hate the characters that I get to deal with. I do get to hate. I get to live in disgust with the character and the energies that I have to deal with in this society every day. So it's nothing about what she looked like. It's about what they do. It's about what they do. And like I said, Black Girl, Follow Me Back, they ate them up on TikTok. And I give them all of the kudos for that. They need to be ate up more often. It seems like females are out in front of it more than the males. But that's to be expected. Then I look on the news and they're talking about TikTok again. Black female business hair. Our hair, we have natural beauty. We have natural beauty we have to maintain. They have what they have is trying to get to that natural beauty. They're striving for natural beauty. We have natural beauty. We have to strive to maintain. They are trying to get to natural beauty. So if anyone wants to complain, they have to recognize it's two different worlds. And that's just the fact. That's just the fact. We have beauty that we have to maintain, and they have something. They always striving to get something, take something, want something, need something. We're not that kind of, that's not what we're driven off of. It's not trying to look like something that we're not. We're trying to maintain what we got. And that takes, because we're unique. We're unique. So they have no place putting their 2 cents in anything that has to do with our community. And I tell you, like I said, our people minds have been lowered so low that we have to sit and take advice from this. Why would you do that? Is she already the Queen Madonna, or does she already have it all together? She got it all together? I think not. I really seriously think not. And for our people to sit up and discuss, personal, things that go into that only deals with our community because of what her community has done. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. There wouldn't need to be someone needed to tell her there wouldn't need to be a BLM if you weren't controlling over another group of people to the stance where the extent where they can't survive or live without being under white supremacy that hates them, but yet wants to be supreme. You can be supreme over there on your own land with your own people, but somehow you had to have us involved in it and controlled. So I'm not getting why it has to be something. So it's what I've been talking about all this time. You're very powerful people. Once you raise up and recognize, you do not have to use violence. You do not have to, you really don't have to lift a finger. All it takes is a flip of a switch, and that's the switch in your brain. And once that gets going, you won't be dealing like this. You won't be, it'd be a waste of your time. You look at it, it'd be even a waste of thought to even think about. Like a lot of things, as you get older, some things are a waste of your time to even think about. It's called growth. It's called growth and finding out who you are, why you are, your purpose. It's more than just relationships with a man and a woman. It's greater than that. That's just one little experience. That's one of those little experiences we get to have, but it's greater than that. It's about you, the star who was put down here to move. to experience, to know thyself, not as a color per crayon, not as a group, because all of those things have been built around us, but as you pushing yourself to your limits, empowering yourself, getting everything, making your dreams come true. While walking all over those things that were supposed to have been in your way, but you found a way to make them fall. But you found a way to get them to bow down to you. You found a way to naturally shield yourself from the bullets and all them other things weapons they tried to throw and harm you with. Because, like they said, once you know the devil's secrets and you know yourself, what happens to these spirits and these boogeymans and these things and that roam in dark places that you don't know, the unknown? What happens to them? They can't touch you. They can't touch you because you didn't empowered yourself, and you got warriors all around you that can't be seen in the unseen and in the seen world as well. And you're not alone, you're a powerful force by yourself. And that's simply with knowledge. Now that's real power. Now all the other things they put in front of us, like that dollar, that's not power. Real power is the mind. Once you can rise above, you don't the ant the elephants have nothing to do with the ants. What's the elephant gonna do with an ant? Nothing. He can't do nothing. He doesn't even know it exists. It's so far out of sight, it doesn't exist. They don't bother him. They don't come around him. Not in his environment, the elephant's environment. Ants have no place there. It's not for them. It's not for ants. So once you know that and understand that, then you should be able to proceed through your experience in that manner. Not worried about the ants because you're a giant. Not worried about the little nonsense things, the meteor things, the things that are not on your level. How can something that is not even on your level sit here and have a conversation with you? How do you do that? How do they do that, Shadow Band? D Calico, how do they do that? I don't even see. I don't even see it.
So I'm just curious. In hindsight, now is
Ignorant.
it different? Because
Ignorant.
Not
talking to the mic.
really.
Yeah,
And I
Not
don't
really, because like the
tolerate
Black
him.
Lives Matter movement for me goes past that woman like
Okay.
completely.
Uh-huh.
So it hasn't really changed for me.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't agree with what she did.
Go on, pal. As you were gonna say something.
No, I was
Please.
just no. I was just curious because it just seems like if that was a big issue in your relationship, like
Yeah.
it would be less like hindsight being 2020, like knowing that was a
Yeah.
scam, maybe it would be less of an issue now. That was my thought.
Yeah, I'm also quite a historical person, so I just like to bring up the history a lot. I like to watch a lot of films
Uh-huh.
and things like that, and I realized that that made him uncomfortable a lot of the
Mhm.
time. He was like, "Why do you always bring this?" Because it's just things that I'm into and I like to talk about, and I want someone who's like-minded to have these discussions
Okay.
with. So
So it kind of sounds like you just wanted someone that more like politically that aligned with you.
yeah,
So would you say it was more politics rather than like skin color?
um,
Because if you were dating a guy that like
And then
was
they
white and he didn't
they
have an
get
issue with you
into
talking about it all the time, then maybe
racial
it would have been a different
relationships here.
result.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I still would prefer to date. I think,
Are you more attracted to black guys?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like preference.
You're more attracted to black guys now,
I
or
was
were
gonna
you
say,
were you
since you moved
always
to
more
London.
attracted to
I
black guys?
think I became more attracted to black guys when I moved to London. I didn't grow up in I went to predominantly white school, predominantly white college.
Uh-huh.
My uni when I moved to London
Yeah.
was in Northwest London. Like, you know what
Right.
Northwest London is like.
But are you attracted to them? Sorry, are you attracted to them more now because you see yourself more in them now?
Yeah.
Okay, that would make sense.
I'm telling you, there was a lot of self-hatred growing up because, like I said, I was labeled as a coconut from a young age for the music I was into, for the taste that I liked. You know, just people don't always align so many things with being black. So
I see.
That's one of the things I find, just for say that, like, people think that black is one monolith thing.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean? And it's like, black people can't be conservative, black people can't support Trump, or black people can't, do you know what I mean? Like, and all these kind of things. So I think black people need to realize, and I think part of the problem why people have such a problem with interracial relationships, I've always said,
Where is that at?
Do you guys think it's appropriate to go out in a relationship?
Yeah. Why not? Is that a bad thing now?
It
Is that a
depends
thing
how you
now?
conduct yourself when you're out.
Well, what are you going out for?
What?
You got a man.
I can't let my hair down for 5 minutes with my girls.
It's like why are you fishing if you don't want to fish?
But who
I
said I
don't
was
go out to
fishing?
fish.
I was having a good time.
Oh, so what'd you go out for yourself?
To have a good time.
Yeah. Is that no? Seriously, is that a thing now?
I mean, that's just I'm just telling you guys how men view it. Like I'm just being honest. Like I listen to guys.
That's
talk all
pretty
the time. Like,
general.
if you're going out all the
Now you don't know all men in the world, black men at that. But yet she thinks she's qualified to make that statement. That's what I'm talking about. That's the nonsense I'm talking about. And the depravity of our people now. And remember, I told you that they were deprived. They have made you deprived. Okay, that's enough on that discussion. Now I'm going to be talking about, this is the book. This is the next book I'm about to send to my buddy in South Africa. Hold on. I just want to talk about South Africa for a second. Hold on, let me stop this. I want to talk about South Africa for a second and the incident they had. Let me see. Already saved that. And their president said something, but I sent my friend a comment about that. This is these are the same people that started not slavery, but the same people who started I don't think they should just say no. I think they should say go. You got to say go. You got to do more than say no. You got to say we are living in this place. Get your crosses. Get your crosses in your hand. Get that holy water. 'Cause this is Christianity comes in hand, and you need to show them what you learned. You need to you tell them the devil get out, devil out, devil and his spirits need to get out. Wicked spirits need to go. This is what you need to do in South Africa. When this situation happened, they need to be Christian, more Christian than they've ever been on that day. And because I tell you,
Now, the president and tourism minister are condemning an assault at a Free State holiday resort. This after a video showing a group of white men fighting with two black
you need to
teenagers
show
and
them
that
what
went
you
viral.
learned.
Now, that incident took place at a swimming pool at a muscle sport resort on Christmas Day.
And I
Now,
bet
it was
you
allegedly sparked by the
that's
white
what it's
men
going to take to
demanding
get rid
that
of them.
black
Holy
youngsters stop
water
swimming
and
as
crosses
the
to get
pool
them
was
out of
reserved
South
for whites.
Africa.
Police in the Free State are currently investigating a
Rituals and
case of
everything.
common assault. So senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is following developments and
Dance
joins
old
us
tribal
for
dance
the very
with
latest in
white
the
face.
story. A very good afternoon to you, Siphamandla Goge. And I suppose everybody is wondering, after the trauma that these young boys were exposed to on what was supposed to be a festive Christmas Day, is quite immense. How are the victims doing?
Well, they are still traumatized by the incident. We spoke to them about an hour ago. They are still traumatized by the incident. They are still at that resort with their family members. It was meant to be a very good day for them. They had planned to have that Christmas gathering as family and relatives. They had not seen each other during the hard.
You see, when you have good energy, see the polarity of good energy is that bad energy. And that's why I said there are polarities. And our ancestors knew that looking at the stars, that something was changing in the world, that they knew that it was going to come a time when evil was going to befall us. And evil has befalled us. But how are we going to stand? Are we going to stand the test of time against having to survive against this evil? Or are we going to go and say, join them? A lot of our people have chosen to join the evil. I constantly speak out against certain energies, not race necessarily, but this is what they have created, that construct. So we know that if we know ourselves, we know that it's much, much more than race. Because they have tried so much stuff, so much, and it's been so many centuries and centuries and centuries of these things that we have endured over and over again. But now is the time when we got to come out of our ignorance and go into the knowledge, the truth, and awaken to that. And instead of trying to gravitate towards that evil, because you can't change evil, you cannot, what they told us centuries and centuries and centuries over and over again, you cannot change evil. You cannot change wicked nature. It might make you think, but there's reasons why color is indicated. It's a reason why color is an indicator. And we use color as an indicator for a lot of things. Our hot water is red. Our cold water is blue. So there's no reason why we should be repeating the same old things over and over again. We shouldn't be repeating. We just, It's something that's missing in our people. They want to be free, but they don't know what free means. Nobody knows what free means. We've been using this word on a remedial level, on a low thinking level, and it's not benefited us at all. It hasn't benefited us at all. Not understanding the true meaning of what free is. Free is what you were, how you were born in this world, free. Through your mother. You were in your mother getting fed freely. No one over you. And a lot of our ancestors were born and experienced that free because it was way before evil came upon the earth. Way before evil came, and they knew it was coming. And they knew the time. They knew that something had to be put in place. So they put a lot of things in place for the generations after them. But until we can get it and see the purpose within our lives as a people, each of us, and understand what we see, what we look, what we're seeing in the world as we are experiencing it.
Lockdowns due to COVID-19 pandemic, and they planned this reunion to say they will have this get together this Christmas Day, but that was ruined by a group of white males who verbally and physically assaulted them, basically claiming that they must not utilize the swimming pool. It's reserved only for white people. That racist incident has sent shockwaves across the Free State province and the country as a whole. That video that was circulating on social media has got more than 3.5 million views as we speak. So we were able to catch up, or rather to speak to those two African boys that were assaulted. And this is what they had to say about that incident.
Honestly speaking, it's not more of a shock, and like I'm not shocked that it happened. I'm shocked that it escalated to that situation, but because like of the family and the support, because my parents are well educated, so we were taught how to stand for ourselves and make sure we know we're home, not and everything like that. So for me, it was more about I couldn't let that happen to my brother. He's never experienced something like that before, so it was about protecting him. But it's not the first time there's racial altercations, especially in the Free State. In Bloem, it's a bit intense, but I feel like because of the support structure and the way my parents educated me on loving myself as a black person.
Sure, very sad insights there, Sipamanda, saying that he was actually not shocked by the attack on him as a young black man. With that, what are the parents saying about this incident? Are they happy that this has now been put under investigation as a case of common assault?
They are happy that there is some progress, but they are devastated. You would imagine that you book a holiday, a get together session with your family members and friends. You take your children there while you are busy chilling. Then you get told that please rush to the swimming pool side. Your children are being assaulted there. They are being prevented from swimming by a group of racist males. So it was devastating to them as parents, but they say they are hoping that police will speed up the investigation and that perpetrators will be brought to book. And the father of the two boys really says this incident shouldn't have happened. Let's take a listen.
The scaffold erupted, which caused so much trauma and embarrassment to everybody because there were kids here from all sides, including their own kids. So when a big person like that does that kind of thing in front of their kids, It's an action that is violating not only the rights of the children, even the mothers who have been here are very much traumatized. We are also affected, and these are the kind of things that we had thought we'd put them behind ourselves because we fought strongly against it to create a non-racial society where people can live together. However, we still have remnants of people who do not understand or choose not to understand that human beings are human beings and they have their own, creations and perceptions of how human relations should be. So it has traumatized everybody, not only these kids here, but the more they look at the visuals, the more we have problems. And it's an outrage. Actually, we are gobsmacked. We don't know what to say.
Have the perpetrators in this incident, Siphamandla Goge, been arrested?
Not yet. We do understand that that group of racist people who attacked the African boys, they were basically evicted from the resort, but they have not been arrested as we speak. Police are still investigating. There were confusing messages about the nature of the charges or the cases that have been opened here. Rather, earlier on, it was reported that police are investigating a case of common assault. There were others who were calling for a charge of attempted murder because one of the African boys was basically thrown inside the pool and he was strangled. There were attempts basically to suffocate him or to make him drown, and other people have been calling on police to add that charge of attempted murder. And as of this moment, the perpetrators, the racists, have not been arrested, but police say they are investigating all possible cases that can be preferred against the perpetrators. Let's take a listen to the spokesperson of the police in the Free State.
After our police attended to a scene in Musselsport, where the first information of crime indicated that a charge of assault common in crime and injury can be registered, and this was also from the advices of our legal experts. The matter was registered as such. There was no stage where
The Dutch are the same very people that started the human trafficking with our people. And they're the very same people that are trying to run South Africa, and feel like they're entitled to the land and everything after all these people been through with King Leopold and all of those things and things after King Leopold, they still don't get no empathy from anything. They have no empathy for these people. They just feel like they're entitled to the world and they're entitled to us being under them. I'd say these things so our people can change their minds about what this propaganda they push of togetherness and 100% and all of this together. There's never been a togetherness. There's never been a togetherness, because if there was ever a togetherness, the system wouldn't have been built where it has us thinking we have choices, but we don't have choices. Knowing for a fact we don't have choices. Many people think we have a choice, but if you look at history, you see that every time we made choices, they came and bombed us. They bombed us. So, what choice do we have in the matter? We're with controlling individuals who dictate and think that their hands have to be in everything we create.
the South African Police Service engage into a matter of downgrading any crime. And we want to put it on record that as a South African Police Service, we never had any intent to downgrade any crime, but were informed by first information of crime as received. Our investigator worked around the clock to obtain more statements, as it's a norm in the incident like this. And after that, the docket was tabled before the senior state prosecutor, who managed to peruse it. And after looking into the statement,
It's traumatic. It's very traumatic for people that look like us to endure what we endure in this world, our experience. So I want us to not I want us to see it from a science point of view, scientific point of view. As above, so below. Because we need to take ourselves out from trauma. We need to empower ourselves, not in man's way of empowering himself, but in the God and goddesses' ways of empowering themselves through knowledge in the mind and not being under or less than what they are, who you are. We need to strive for higher, and that's not living in Beverly Hills in a mansion, driving a Bugatti, or driving a, did I say that right, Albert? Okay. It's not that. I strive for the day that I can bathe in the sun and just again, because I love it. I love it. I love just meditating, feeling life, and clearing the mind. But here in America, there's no clear mind. It's, you can try, and I'm still working on it. I will work on it. But it's meant to be like this. It's meant to be like this.
so additional statements taken, and was of the view that a charge can be changed to attempted murder. The police received the docket back with these directives and are working now on these directives as given by senior state prosecutor. We anticipate that very soon our police will bring the perpetrators or perpetrator before a court of law to account to these charges.
Sipamandla, what about the resort management? They are largely accountable for the activities that happen on their grounds. Have they had anything to say about this incident?
They said to us, no comment. That is very surprising and strange if you take into account the magnitude and the nature of this incident and how it has sparked, anger across the country. For the management to say no comment, others would say it would appear that they are siding with the racists. We did visit the establishment. We did explain to them that we were there to offer them a right of reply. The local manager who was there contacted his superiors, whom he said to us are in Australia, and they told him not to comment. In fact, they said to him he must not entertain any media queries. He must just let it be. So that was the attitude that we got when we visited them. We wanted to find out from them what have they done about this incident, but they were very cold and very clear that they will not comment. No comment was their comment. So we did put it to them to say we are extending a right.
Greed is the problem. Money is the weapon. Greed is the problem, and money is their weapon. That's why you have cops that don't give a care.
of reply. This incident happened in your establishment. What is your comment? What did you do about it? And they maintained that, well, no comment. So it would appear as if they are protecting or siding with the perpetrators in this matter. And we did put it to them that unfortunately we'll have to tell our viewers that we extended that that right of reply to them, but they decided not to
Excuse
exercise
me.
it.
Very unfortunate set of circumstances there that the management refused to comment on such a heinous crime. Siphamandla Goge, senior reporter, thank you very much for bringing us the very latest on that particular story. Really having the country angered because it brings up such horrid memories of South Africa's past, which now seems to be part of the present. Now,
Traumatic. So traumatic. It's traumatic. Mhm. And like I said, someone was saying that, evil has been here a while now. But evil has not noticed itself been evil. That's what we talked about. It's polarities. They will never know themselves to be evil. It's just, a way of life for them, I guess. It's just a way of life. So now I'm going to talk about, let me see. I'm going to share with you guys the book. This is the book, The Eastern Bantu, the Southeastern Bantu. And I'm just going to read a little bit. Okay, this guy, son of Tiayo Saga, the first Black South African to be ordained. John Henderson Saga, 1860 to 1941, was ex-Xhosa minister and scholar. Like his father, he was one of the first of his people to receive an education in Europe and to marry a European woman. So I take it his father married a European woman because, as you can see, he looks European. He looks European. So his father had married a European woman and then he married a European woman. His perspective on his people's history is therefore distinctive, driven by a desire to record Xhosa traditions before they were lost in a changing world. Saga collected oral histories during his work at mission stations in South Africa, producing this historical survey of three branches of the Bantu family, including genealogies of the main tribes, and tracing their traditions, beliefs, and conflicts. The work first appeared in this English version in 1930, having been translated by the author from his native language. His equally authoritative work of social anthropology, The Yamahosa Life and Customs, 1932, is also reissued in this series. Okay. Okay. Chapter 1. Who are the Bantu? In order to obtain something like an answer to the question, who are the Bantu, it has been necessary to look into the past and obtain from its history Such material as may be a help comment provides us with a starting point, and we make use of his views concerning the entry of the Hamites into Northeast Africa, as well as of dates. It is perfectly well known, however, that other writers give various views on the subject and differ from Kalmat as to dates. The latter, however, is as and has been stated as sufficient authority to provide a starting point for what follows. The Bible represents Noah as having three sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Japheth appears to have been the oldest and the progenitor of the European races. Shem being a second, and Ham the youngest son. The sons of Ham are placed in the following order: Cush, Mizraim, Phut, Canaan, but in the Rosette or Sofa Asiatic Miscellany Comet Bible Dictionary, it is written that God gave Ham 9 sons. Hind, Sind, and Zinj. Nuba, Canaan, Cush, Copt, Berber, and Habesh. And that on account of their children multiplying marvelously, they were made to speak different languages, and for that reason, they were forced to separate and to form independent communities. There is some doubt as to the identity of the racial descendants of several of these sons of Ham, but the majority may be fairly easily traced. It is stated that Hindu, the progenitor of the Hindus of India, Sind was the progenitor of the race of both banks of the Indus. Zinj was the progenitor probably of the races along the Zanzibar coast. Nuba was the progenitor of the Nubians. Canaan was the progenitor of the races as stated in the Bible. Cush, Copt, was the progenitor of the Egyptian Berber, was the progenitor of the Berbers in North Africa. Habish was the progenitor of the Abyssinians, notwithstanding that the inheritance of Ham was to be Africa. Yet Hind, Sind, Cush, and certain sections of Canaan remained in Asia and land of their birth. This helps to confirm our knowledge of the existence at the present day of powerful Hamitic tribes in Asia. These did not enter into their African heritage. Then then again, Asia was appointed as the inheritance of Shem. Yet we find Shemites occupying the northern coast of Africa, on the seaboard of the Mediterranean and northern Atlanta. As regards Canaan, when we study Genesis 25, we note that Hebrews believed that it was Canaan who exposed his father's condition to Ham, and Noah, having found this out, cursed Canaan. Others think that Ham was the offender, and Noah believed that by cursing Canaan, the favorite son of Ham, he would the more surely make Ham suffer. Following up a little further, the subjects of Ham's descendants, we learned that Canaan's eldest son, Sidon, was the progenitor of the Sidonians, otherwise the Phoenicians. 10 sons of Canaan became the progenitor of 10 tribes: the Hittites, Jebusites, Amorites, Girgasites, Havites, Hivites, Archites, Sinites, Jezemarites, and the Hamathites. The greater portion of all these tribes remained and multiplied in Palestine. In Syria, but did not take possession of their African inheritance. That is to say, they remained in Asia. Okay. The name indicates the color of the skin and is derived from the Latin niger, or black. This race is distinct in many of its human characteristics and in language from the other races of Africa. It is asserted by some that it is incapable of rising except by miscegenation, but dogmatic statements of this kind are not always borne out by scientific investigation. It is not clear whether or not the Negroes are Aboriginal inhabitants of Africa. If a line is drawn from Cape Verde on the west to the confluence of the Nile and Sabah. So that's just a little taste of this book here. And like I said, his father, he's an African, but his father and his tribe, he went to Europe to get an education and he married a white woman and he had him. Then he turned around and married a white woman. But this is a very interesting book. It's the Southeastern Bantu. Who are they? We are, I call us Bantu. It's very powerful. And I've learned more than what this fellow is talking about from it. He's talking like he's supposed to be talking and studying about his particular people of this small tribe that he comes from. That evidently the traditions and stuff have been pretty much. He knew that the times would change, and eventually, like many of our lives changed, and a lot of our things we used to do in our families, we don't do no longer. It's the same with him and his people. He knew that time would change, but he had to document a lot of the culture. And that's what he did in this book. But he also talks about different things. But as far as the tribes and stuff, I don't get into that. Because I know Hebrew is not real. The Bible is just the things I don't take literally the Bible. Hey, welcome, Brother Bakari. Welcome, Sean Harris. I think I'm going to get ready to close out, but we're going to dance our way out back into some high energy because after we talked about ugh, all the trauma we got to endure in this place, and I'm telling you, the next video on energy, the horrible energy, I'm going to go all in on that one. I'm going to probably take some notes, write down some things, and then go all in with that one. This one was, just to talk about how we got to free ourselves, and we free ourselves through this. Like me and my friend was talking earlier on the phone, and we were talking about this: casting your stones, casting your pearls to swines. And it was a beautiful conversation we had. I learned so much from her. um Especially her thinking of it all with our people. you know it is, but it ain't. It's kind of like when the Bible talks about, and it's very important. I think this part is very important: the saints and the sinners. And we know that there is no separate saints and no sinners. Sinners over here and saints over there. We're a combination of both. But what they mean by that, I think, is those who realize that no man has power over them and know how to show that in the physical without having to really physically deal with their adversaries. Because the adversaries are all on a physical level, thinking only physical, which is that wickedness. And if that's wickedness, if that's energy, then that energy has no strength and power within it. The strength and power comes from the mind expiring, listening, hearing, seeing, flying above, not trying to be on this level, fighting against politically, fighting against feeling like this, or battling physically, because that's giving you're taking on their nature. Why should you have to take on their nature? Why should we teach our kids how to shoot guns and go out here and follow them? Why should we follow them? Why don't we know that our ancestors, that we are powerful people? We evidently, they tell us every day we're powerful. And I just want to break that out into this Whitney Houston song for Whitney, because it's a victory for Whitney. It's a victory for her. I believe in miracles, and you will always be. Hey. Powerful. Powerful. She is winning. She is winning. She is winning. We can't even see. We can't even see the victories. We can't even see our victories. Because some of us think there's some things that are going to have to be destroyed. There's some things that have to be destroyed. And we're going to think that it's evil beings on the earth doing this destruction. It's not always the evil beings on earth doing the destruction. Sometimes the destruction is coming from somewhere else. And it's time for it. It's time for it. And, you know, if we don't know, then it can't be held against our people because we weren't educated and who we are, why we are, and what we are. That was prevented from us ever knowing those things about ourselves. And there's a reason. There's a reason. So with that said, I'm gonna end it with some music and we're gonna dance. Hold on. Just a second. All right, family. I'm going to go ahead and close out. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Bakari. Thank you, Sean Harris. Thank you, Shadowban, D, Calico. Y'all check out D D, check out Bakari. And Sean, I don't know if you got a channel or not, but till next time, with that said, true love, real peace, and the higher self within the soul. Till next time.